Hello, and what is up, my jammer and jamettes? Welcome back to another episode of the Cam Sports Jam. Brad Cameron, alongside me, Steven Berkheimer, my co-host. No, the British are not coming. I am rocking this red jacket in honor of our Washington Capitals that won their playoff series against the Philadelphia Flyers. It didn't go into Game 7. We finally won a playoff series, and we did it in under 7 games. So congrats to the Capitals. And before we get too much further, before we get too local, big shout out, Good Samaritans Medical Transport LLC, one of our sponsors. Can't thank you enough for all your medical transport needs. Call Good Samaritans Medical Transport, service that exceeds expectations. How'd our Caps look, Stevie?
Great through 3. Then Newbie showed up, and the typical, I guess, goalie against Washington, standing on their head, saving seems like 100% of the shots. I think we threw 80 something at him before he gave one up. But hey, we followed through. We finished. Wished it would have been quicker, but we won. We're on to the next.
Yeah, they're on the golf course, and we're on the ice still. So we're happy about that. 6-game, 4-2. We finally closed it out, Game 6. So it felt good. And I thought we played really well too. I mean, Holtby played fantastic. Only gave up 1 goal. We had a 2-0 defeat at home. Game 5, but one of those goals was an empty net. So Holtby really only gave up 1 goal. Not even per game in the games that he gave up a goal because he pitched 2 shutouts.
Right.
And so, Holtby playing great, and our defense played great, and our offense played great. But Nuvi, like you said, went anti-Capitals like goaltenders always do in the playoffs, and somehow play out of their minds, and they would save 100 shots at once. So congratulations to him, and whatever success this brings him with that franchise. But I'm happy we don't have to play you again, Newbie. No joke. Like, really, you looked really fantastic. But now we go up against Pitt. I played the Penguins, one of our hated rivals. Along with the Flyers, Pitt is right up there with them, if not past them. We hate you, Pitt. And you're playing extremely good hockey right now. So this is going to be tough. Let's make some predictions for this series. What do you got? 7 games, 6 games?
Yeah, I'll take us in 7.
Okay.
I wish it was sooner, and I'm actually kind of nervous, to be honest with you, with the way the Penguins are playing. But you'd have to think that we're the better team. We're going to show up this year. We're not going to let anything stop us from getting to the Cup when we get there. I guess we'll worry about that when we get there. But the Pens are on fire right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't make it out of this round, but I somewhat expect us to. We're the better team. We should win this series in 6 or 7. I'll take 7 at home.
Okay.
But with how well the Penguins are playing, I think it's going to be a lot tougher than maybe years past. But we're a better team, and I think it's something that we can handle.
We are. I think you're right. I think we're over whatever mental hurdle that was kind of inhibiting us, and we were able to close that series out in 6 against Philly, and give them a lot of credit. They did play really good hockey. They were physical. It was big hitting series that went on. And this next series coming up, I feel like the Caps are in a more mental state of playoffs than the Penguins are right now. Penguins are playing really good hockey. They cruise through the Rangers, possibly too easy though, in my opinion. I don't think they're ready for the slapdown that the Caps are going to bring. I mean, they coasted through the Rangers. It wasn't tough. I feel like mentally they may not be there. Mentally they may be like, hey, we're just going to cruise through and we're going to put them on their butts, and they're going to be like, whoa, we weren't ready for this. It's hard to imagine the Pittsburgh team not being ready for it, but there could be some kind of mental lapse where they're like, hey, did we even play like a series? I mean, we won in 5, we torched them, and the Caps already got a slap in the face. I mean, Philly put up a fight, like a really, really big fight, and we played good hockey. We played some really good hockey, outshot them even in a loss.
40 something to
To
10
yeah,
or
to like
11.
10 or 11.
Yeah.
And they only scored off some weird redirection. I don't even know if that counts against
We
Holtby.
scored and we lost.
Yeah, we scored for them. But either way, like I feel like the Caps are in a mental state where it's like, yo, we know what's on the line. We've already been in a dogfight. I feel like Pittsburgh hasn't been in a dogfight yet. I think the Caps are ready to lay some wood on this Pittsburgh team, and hopefully we can catch them sleeping. I got us in 6. I'm going to take us in 6. I think it's going to be a similar series like Philly, but our defense has played fantastic. We limited Philly to not a lot of shots on net, helping Holtby, but just blocking shots and doing whatever it takes to really limit their offensive chances. And I know Pittsburgh is better offensively, but I still think this team is ready to go. I think they're mentally in the zone and ready to go, and I think we catch Pittsburgh in 6.
All right, let's get it done.
Come on, let's go, Caps. We are rocking the red, baby. Let's go now. Come on, Caps. Let's move on to another red, white, and blue associated team. Let's go on to the Nats. First place right now, 14-5, just lost to Philadelphia, but they can have it. We already beat you in hockey, so okay, you can have that one game. It's fine. But number 1 right now in the NL, look very good. Harper looking MVP-esque, if not better than last year, better than his MVP performance last year. He's looked pretty incredible. How do you like the way the Nats look so far? I know it's early, but
no, it is early. But kind of in the scheme of things, we're an eighth of the way through the season. We're in first. We're hitting the ball. Harper's playing Harper-esque. So it's nice to see our pitching staff has handled the ball pretty well,
yes.
and Scherzer hasn't looked himself, and we're still...
You're fired.
No, but Gio's looked outstanding.
Yeah.
Strasburg's got his stuff under control.
I mean, Rourke, 14.
Yeah, I know.
14, 15
He set his personal best. He only reached double-digit strikeouts once.
And he tied the Nats record.
Yeah, there we go. So it's good to see now. I kind of want to see more where we stand closer towards the All-Star break. But right now, I couldn't be happier with the start for us.
Absolutely, and we've had kind of an easy schedule so far. We have some tougher opponents coming up on our schedule, so we get a little bit better idea of kind of exactly where we're at. But still, happy that we at least look the part right now.
Right.
We have our stud being Studley, our rotation is being solid. Papelbon only one blown, but otherwise he's making his saves. We look like an all-around team right now. And the addition of Murphy looks very good. Murphy's playing Studley, and they're trying to pitch around Harper, but then you have Zim and Murphy coming up after him. There's no way to escape it right now. I love the way we look, but I'm especially proud of our bullpen. That's one hurdle that we've really had to get over, especially in the postseason the last couple of years. And it looks like, I know it's early, but it looks like some of that maturation and everything is starting to come together. So I'm really excited. The O's also in first place in the AL could have a little Beltway series brewing right now. And how much fun would that be?
Great.
All right, let's move on to the Skins. Let's talk NFL. Washington Redskins with NFL draft coming up, and live in studio later, Andre Smith, tight end for the Cleveland Browns, is going to be joining us. Jaren fans, stay tuned. It's going to be a great interview I have with Dre coming up. But with Skins' recent acquisition, Josh Norman. I mean, how did he fall into our hands?
I honestly don't know. I don't know what the Panthers were thinking. I guess it was just more of a long-term deal. Happy with the signing. Somewhat nervous about the dollar amount, but if you want a top corner in the league today, you're going to have to pay top dollar. Mm-hmm. Top corners are hard to find, so you draft them and you try and mold them, and they usually don't pan out the way that you want them. And being in a division that I would say is on a decline, if you can say that, really, I think
they're already down. I don't know if it's a decline. I think they
right. No, but with facing Dallas twice, I think, locking down Dez, and then with the Giants and OBJ,
got some,
and whoever the Eagles are,
Jordan Matthews will drop it himself. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, Nelson Aguilar, who are either.
Yeah.
No, but I think it sets us up a lot better for the playoffs.
Okay.
Presuming that we get there, I like the signing. It's one necessary step that we need to fix defensively, because I think we're stable offensively. Our defense is just kind of what's preventing us from making that next step. And signing somebody of this caliber is something that's very good for the Redskins, in my opinion.
Absolutely, I love it. You know, I feel like the Skins strike out on a lot of like free agency signings, but I feel like this is finally our chance to be like, hey, you can't strike out again, you know. And I like that the Skins are going after someone that really is quite the game changer. I mean, getting a lockdown type corner, you know, he's obviously already in Odell's head, you know, played him really tough in New York, forced him into some interesting football moves, are we going to call them those? Some very, very interesting hits, unnecessary roughness type plays, where I like now that we have someone of that caliber. I know we paid a little bit heavy for him, $36 million guaranteed, but we can get out of it in 2 years. So that's one thing that's nice about this deal. Is it's going to be a lot of money, but if somehow something happens and it's not panning out, we made it so we have the ability to get out. So I'm very okay with this, like tremendously okay and tremendously excited, and kind of feeling like we might have a little bit of a dynasty brewing in the division in terms of we are, I think, definitively now the team to beat. Where last year was like, who's going to win this division? Maybe the Cowboys, you know, and Romo gets hurt, and maybe it's the Eagles, and they end up playing horribly, or maybe it's the Giants, and they don't know how to close out football games. Eli, what's wrong with you? But, you know, now I feel like it is the Skins. You know, now I feel like they're the team to beat, and now that we have Norman, it's like, you know, they're adding more pieces and making them more the team to beat. And so I'm liking that signing. I'm liking where the Skins are going right now, and we have the NFL draft coming up, and you know, Skins have a lot of picks, and you know, we have a good GM who can find talent, and so I'm really looking forward to the NFL draft. Let's talk about that. Thursday, 8 p.m. on ESPN. The Skins have right now the 21st draft pick in the NFL draft, and who do you think they should go after? What's a need that the Skins have, and where do you see them going with that pick?
As I mentioned earlier, I think most of our needs are on the defensive part. So with that being said, I'm going to go with Jarran Reed out of Alabama, defensive lineman. He's not much of a pass rusher, but if they're going to throw something at you down the gut, you know, rushing, then he's a good run stopper, plugs the holes pretty well. So he's somebody that I wouldn't mind drafting, somebody I have an eye on at that pick.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one thing that plagued us a little bit late second half of the year was our run defense kind of really started getting gashed. And so, no, I think that'd be a great acquisition. One other thing that I think the Skins need to go after is some kind of linebacker, you know, mainly inside linebacker. And I'm all about Alabama. I mean, it's hard to not have success with drafting an Alabama defensive player in the last 5 years. Like they seem to be all good. They seem to be impact type players. I got Reggie Ragland. He's an inside linebacker out of Alabama, 6'1", 247, and from what I hear, his IQ is like out of the roof. And I think that's one thing that the Skins really need is a leader who can break down things and kind of be a coach on the field. And obviously it would be hard for him to step in as a rookie and be that. But looking down the road, right, in 2 or 3 years, you know, him being kind of the coach on the field, I could definitely see something like that happening. Just like I said, it's hard to go wrong with Alabama defensive players drafting them. So I think that's one direction we need to go. You know, defense again, I agree with you, something we need to address. Offense was very good last year. Cousins set a lot of records. So offensively, I feel very comfortable. And I do think there's things we need to address. Defensive line being one of them, and then you know, me in particular, linebacker. Well, that's all for the local teams. We don't want to talk about the Wizards because we don't want to start crying. But when we come back, Andre Smith, tight end for the Cleveland Browns, is going to have a guest appearance here in the Cam Sports Jam. Don't go anywhere, Jammer fans. You're tuned into the Jam. Welcome back, my Jammer fans. Thanks again to one of our sponsors, Silver Spring Social Sports. It's a 21 and up social sports league, including sports such as volleyball, dodgeball, football, soccer, softball, and kickball. If anyone's interested in getting involved in any of these sports, you can go online at silverspringssocialsports.com. Find all the information there. You can sign up online as well. As you see, tonight we have a guest on Cam Sports Jam, Andre Smith, Cleveland Browns, professional tight end in the NFL. Dre, how are we doing tonight?
Doing great. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show. You know, whenever we get time with anyone special and have a guest on the show, we're so thankful. So can't thank you enough. Let's recap Dre's career. And Dre, you played for Virginia Tech, 2007 to 2011. Had a great career there. Moved on. Went to the NFL. Was picked up as a free agent by Chicago. Went and played in Indianapolis after your stunt there. Then played with Dallas, and now with the Cleveland Browns. I mean, it's quite the road trip you've had so far.
Absolutely, it's been a crazy road trip, but so far so good.
Okay, good to hear. Well, give the Jammer fans an idea of what it's like to be a professional in the NFL.
Oh man, it's hard to explain into words, but really just a change of pace. Playing a sport your whole life, you kind of know what to expect, and as you get older, the levels just kind of increase and the speed increases. But to adjust to the lifestyle probably really is probably the craziest thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, tremendous career you've had. You know, impeccable. One of very few to make it, you know, at the highest level as an NFL, player. So congratulations. I mean, with all your success you've had, that's fantastic, man. That's fantastic. Well, let's talk about what's coming up Thursday on ESPN, 8 o'clock, is the NFL Draft, 2016 NFL Draft. Give me an idea of what are the credentials it takes to be a professional in the NFL, but also to be drafted, as a high pick, possibly one overall. What are some things that recruiters look for in a player to go high like that?
Well, kind of one of the major things is just kind of the ability to adjust. It's kind of the survival of the fittest, especially in different positions. The change and speed of the game is probably the hardest adjustment. College, everybody's good, everybody's great, just like high school. But once you get to the NFL level, you have to be able to perform at a completely whole different level. Numbers can speak volumes about what you've done in your career and in the past, but really when it comes down to it, the NFL is just a whole different platform. So I would probably say mentally is probably the biggest thing.
Okay.
The change of pace, like I once stated, the ability to just adjust to the game, and just that lifestyle.
So how much do you think they take into consideration some of the combine stats when it goes to this decision? You're telling me they want to see that you're mentally tough and mentally able to handle the jump to the next level. How much in consideration do they take what went on the combine?
I think for guys that don't have the best numbers, as far as statistics and things like that go, they take that as a major factor in contributing to what value you have as a player.
Okay.
The numbers, the guys that aren't the big name guys and then go to the combine and explode and run a 4.3 and bench 50 reps.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference. But for the guys that have been doing it and the big name guys, I don't think those things specifically set them apart anymore. Because again, everybody's the best of the best at that point. So those guys that have been standing out their whole careers tend to do well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, there's been some shifting in the draft so far. Tennessee Titans traded their number one pick away to the LA Rams. Who do you see that has the potential to be the LA Rams' number one pick this year in the draft?
Based off of what I've seen and what I watched at the combine, I would like to say Jared Goff. Again, that was probably the biggest question for him. I believe he's a D1 AA quarterback.
He is not. The other, Carson Wentz, is 1AA at North Dakota State. Jared Goff played for Cal.
D1.
Right. D1, yep.
Okay.
At FBS.
And I think I heard a lot of talk and conversation about whether he could handle the big stage. Not by any means is he not competing against some of the best players in the world, but again, just the whole change in pace and the speed of the game, the ability to read coverages, the ability to move in the pocket while the best of the best are rushing against you, trying to take your head off. It's a whole different playing field right there.
Absolutely, and he's going to, if he gets drafted by the LA Rams, I mean, that's going to be an Arizona Cardinals, Seattle, and San Francisco loaded up, division he's going to be playing in, and they're going to have their ears pinned back.
Absolutely.
Coming after him. And I feel like this year in the draft, there's no clear-cut winner. You got Goff and you got Carson Wentz, and everyone there's still kind of question marks, and even Paxton Lynch at University of Memphis. It's very, very deep. I feel like the draft this year. There's no clear-cut number one where it's like gotta have him. Everyone's trying to trade up for him, and
right.
There's been some shifting. The Eagles have also jumped up now to the number 2 pick, started with the 13th pick. But traded away a lot of stuff going after. I don't particularly know what. They obviously have a plan, but I think you're right. I think the Rams are going to take Goff. Now that they're in LA, I think they'll have a good following for Goff in terms of fans who can really embrace him. Let alone his talent. I do think he's talented, and I do think he has the ability to make throws at the highest level. But I think it's a safe pick for them, getting someone who's local, that everyone kind of already knows, that they can kind of say, hey, this is the new face of the LA Rams. You guys know this guy. It's Jared Goff, Cal. You know him. I think that does play into a factor for the Rams in taking Goff. I not to discredit Wentz. I think Wentz is full of talent, and wherever he goes, I think he's going to get a good opportunity to showcase his talents, but I just think that Goff, being California boy, being kind of local, can be the face of the LA Rams. And let me ask you one more question, Dre. Cleveland gave up a lot of picks to the Eagles. Eagles now have the 2nd overall pick in the draft. What are some things that you may hear around the locker room that you guys want to try and target in this year's draft in terms of gaining depth or in terms of making changes on personnel? What do you think Cleveland needs to kind of approach, or what have you heard that they're trying to target?
Well, there's been a lot of turmoil going on with different situations. We have some players that are out, some players that probably won't be coming back. So I think it's a combination of things. I think it's a little bit of depth. But I think we're still really trying to find those guys to kind of piece together the puzzle and make the whole thing gel. We had a great defense a couple years ago, and we had some explosive players on offense. We just couldn't put everything together. And like a well-oiled machine, all the parts have to be working correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going to target some of the places that we lack in the defensive front, maybe even some extra depth at linebacker. But in my opinion, I personally think we're going to go after a big-time offensive player.
Okay.
I think we need some explosion, and again, depending on the status of some of these other players, I think that's really what we need.
So in terms of quarterback, you say offensive explosion, we want quarterback? Are you talking running back, or are you talking wide receiver?
Talking all three.
All three? Okay.
Yeah, all three we could use. So.
Hey, it's never a bad thing to get stronger.
Absolutely.
At whatever position. So I mean, lots of picks. The Eagles gave up a lot. Cleveland has a great opportunity right now. Great opportunity with 2 second rounders, first rounder this year, first rounder next year as well. To really rebuild and kind of reestablish themselves like on the path they were going 3 years ago. Now, granted, you guys are in a very, very tough division as well. With Pittsburgh and Baltimore have had tremendous success in the last 5 years. But Cincinnati, obviously no slouch. Regular season very strong. Postseason not good at all. Zero wins under Marvin Lewis, but still a tough team. I mean, can't ever rule them out in terms of rolling them over. Looking at your schedule, tough. All three of those squads, and so this is a great opportunity for Cleveland to I think, really kind of reestablish themselves and say, hey, look, we have a lot of picks here, and this is a deep draft where we can find gold in the 3rd round. Find gold in the 2nd round with the extra picks we're getting from Philadelphia. So I wish you guys the best of luck, Dre, and thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Jaguar fans, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to finish up the show and give you some predictions for the top 10 picks in the draft. Welcome back, Jammer fans. Thanks again, Andre, for coming on the show. Can't thank you enough. That was awesome. Love hearing stories about the NFL and getting more in depth with what we don't get a chance to really see and really hear about. So that was fantastic. Thank you so much. Also, big shout out to Junkmasters, another one of our sponsors. Junkmasters, our business is picking up. Thank you guys. So let's move on. Still sticking with the draft here, Stevie. Rams, Eagles have the first 2 picks. They traded up to get these picks, just like Dre and I were talking about. Where do you see these 2 teams going with these picks after giving up a significant amount to the Titans, LA Rams, and then a significant amount to the Browns, the Philadelphia Eagles? What do you got for these 2?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you guys. It's got to be Goff and then Wentz, 1 and 2. I'd be extremely surprised if they went in any other direction. And I'll go with it in that order. I'd be confused if the Rams took Wentz, but if you trade up to number 1, you're going to go with I guess most pro-ready quarterback, I would presume, and with that being in Goff, I'll have the Rams taking Goff and then the Eagles following with Carson Wentz.
Okay, I agree with you. I think it is going to go Goff, Wentz, and I really do think they're quite interchangeable, though. I think they both do have very good size, very good arm strength. I think their IQs are there at that position. But I just feel like I was saying with Dre, is that LA is familiar with Goff. They're familiar with Goff. They'll embrace Goff. As the team is moving now to LA, it's like, Gurley is a beast. But you need a quarterback. You need a quarterback, and I think it's perfect timing for them to take a local, kind of local star who everyone knows. And it's like if you bring in Carson Wentz, it's like, well, who? North Dakota State. We know a lot about him, but maybe not the general public, and maybe it's not as marketable as Jared Goff. And so I think it makes sense as a marketing tactic for two players that are quite evenly matched. It makes sense marketing-wise for me that the Rams go with Goff. And I mean, based on reports I'm hearing about Sam Bradford, he must know something that they're going to take some kind of quarterback. So you would think it's going to be Wentz. And I think it is too. I don't know what else the Eagles would be trying to target. They do need a lot of things, but they've given up a lot, and going after Bosa, giving up that much for Bosa, I don't know if that's really their intentions. I think their intentions are going after Wentz. And so I'm going to agree with you fully, Goff and then Wentz, but I think they're both very, very similar, but the marketability of having a local boy, local stud that everyone knows out in LA makes more sense. And we're gonna release our top 10 picks for every team on Twitter and on Facebook. You can see our kind of mock draft for the top 10 there on those on Twitter and on Facebook, Jammer fans. But give me one pick in the top 10 you want to focus on that you think is a very, very important pick.
Important, I think, for the organization, which hopefully they blow this, but would be at 4 with the Dallas Cowboys. They're in need of a lot of things right now. So I think that they probably should go in the direction of a cornerback, Ramsey out of Florida State, via Tennessee, a top prospect out of Tennessee going to Florida State. He would probably be, in my opinion, the most beneficial to their team, but you never know what Jerry Jones is going to do. Okay. May reach a little bit, may go for Bosa, which wouldn't be bad, but I think in terms of their needs and improving their team in a bigger way, they should go with Ramsey, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go Bosa. So
now let me ask you this: I've also heard reports that maybe they want to go after Zeke Elliott. Maybe they see such a playmaker as Zeke Elliott. Is that too much of a stretch, or do you think it's a possibility?
I wouldn't say it's too much of a stretch because they definitely do need running back help. But going back to what you were talking about earlier, I'm not saying the Eagles are going to for sure take Wentz.
I mean,
but
they
they
talk
might
about-
reach on Elliott.
They might.
They've been big fans of him since the beginning, and he's definitely above and beyond everybody else in the draft in the running back position.
More than
So,
Henry? Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. For sure. Henry's quality, but Elliott's I guess A1 and then A2.
Okay.
So
I see you. I see you.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles did go with Elliott, but it would make infinitely more sense to go with Wentz.
Yeah, okay. I guess I agree with you on that. I don't know. Like, the Eagles, they keep confusing me. They trade up for the 8th, and it's like, okay, we're going after Elliott with the 8th pick, and then they jump all the way up to the 2nd, and Lord knows what they're really trying to do. I guess only time will tell with
That's fine. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yep, keep losing games. Well, no, stop it. No. But I think this Ravens pick is very, very interesting. You got a team that won a Super Bowl not long ago that's kind of fallen from stardom, and I know they had injury problems with the quarterback last year. Flacco went down, torn ACL. We'll be back this year and looking to regain form and looking to get back to their winning ways. I think one thing they need to do is get offensive line help for Flacco. Coming off of this injury, I think this is a great opportunity for them to say, hey, look, let's kind of rebuild from the ground up and start with our pieces that are already here and already good. And one of those is Flacco. I know Flacco can be wacko sometimes, but for the most part, he's a pretty good quarterback. And so I think, depending on where some of these teams fall, I know the Chargers are looking to maybe go after an offensive lineman as well, whether it's Buckner or Tunsil, whoever's available at that time. I think the Ravens need to target an offensive lineman and go after that to secure their assets and make sure that, especially coming off knee injury, keep people off of him. Make sure this dude is not sustaining more hits than he needs to. I'm not saying he won't be ready 100% for this season, but there's no harm in securing your assets, and your top asset is Joe Flacco for the Ravens right now. I mean, I know they need receiver help, I know they need secondary help, but I just look at that team and I'm like, well, what do you really have going for you at all right now? And pretty much it's only Joe Flacco, because Trent Richardson.
No, but on that note, I think Steve Smith is their best. I'm not a big Joe Flacco fan. He won his Super Bowls, and so be it.
Okay, but how does Steve Smith get the ball?
Put anybody else back there. I don't know.
Well, if anyone else is back
Go
there,
Troy Smith.
and they're getting sacked, if anyone's back there and they're getting sacked,
just throw him the ball, and they'll probably juke everybody and run everybody over.
Okay.
I don't know. But, and Tucker.
and he's old and coming off an injury.
I'll take Steve Smith over Joe Flacco any day of the week. Any day of the week. Look at Joe Flacco's QBR since he won Super Bowl.
I don't have it in front of me.
I think it's bottom one.
The worst?
Yes. For people that qualify as a starting quarterback, I think starting
how many
at least
is that?
10 to 12 games.
Really? He's worse than Tannehill.
Look it up.
I will look it up.
Yes.
You can't throw stuff out there
He's
without having
terrible.
stats to back it up.
The stats are, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Look it up, and then our next show, you say, you know what, Stevie, you were right.
I'll write this down.
Flacco is wacko.
Flacco, worst QBR since they
Super
won?
Bowl, yeah.
Sharon fans, you have to comment on this one because I don't have it in front of me. I don't have it in front of me. I'm going to look it up. And this isn't generally an I told you so type of show, but it's about to be an I told you so type of show. And I'm very okay with being wrong and learning more. And so if Stevie's right, then okay, I'm willing to accept that. I mean, he was right about a lot of stuff, Michigan State.
Ouch.
Sorry.
Broncos, you gotta give me the Broncos.
He was right about the Broncos.
All
He
right,
was.
thanks.
He had the Broncos, absolutely, and they got it done. Okay, so I'm gonna research this and educate myself a little bit. And next week it's gonna be I told you so, and
I'll be the one saying it.
And I'll be maybe eating my words here. So okay,
We'll find out.
well, we will wait and see. Well, one other thing I want to talk about is, looking at the teams now that have a lot of picks. Who do you see having the best draft this year? They always grade all these teams. Who do you see? Obviously you want to say the Skins, but who do you see having the best draft this year? Tennessee's got a lot of picks, and now so does Cleveland. Who in your opinion is going to perform the best, make the most out of what they have?
I would hope it would be the Browns. They're in position to do the most in this draft. Whether the organization follows through, it's the Cleveland Browns. I don't want to say it's the Browns, but it's the Browns. They have so many picks. They can't continuously get this wrong and wrong and wrong. So,
or can they?
I'm going to go with the Browns. They've got to turn it around, and I think they make less stretches than they've gone for in the past, and more of something that would be of a solid state.
I hope so as well, and it makes sense to pick the Browns because the odds are in their favor to start having some kind of success. Like, the odds are in your favor to start doing something. But I really like Tennessee's confidence to just forego that number one pick and say, hey, look, we can find, we're going to find talent other places. I think the Titans are in a great position, and I think they will have a very good draft. I think they made a good decision by taking Mariota, and I think there's a lot that they need to work on. And I think this is a great opportunity for them with double-digit picks in this year's draft to really find a way to solidify themselves. And I'm going to go with the Titans. It's kind of strange we're both taking teams that don't have a history of drafting necessarily the best, but there's so many picks, and the draft is so deep where you would think that they have to get some of these right eventually. So I'm going to take the Titans. I'm really cheering for them and cheering for that organization to really gain ground again, especially in a division that is kind of topsy-turvy, where you got the Jags with a high pick, and also some players coming back from injuries, and a successful season, and then the Colts with Luck coming back, and then the Texans winning the division. But who are they? Who's their identity? Who's their quarterback? It's very, very interesting right now in that AFC South, and I feel like the Titans are going to capitalize on this opportunity. I think they have a great draft, and I think they're going to have a very nice season next year as well. Well, I think that's all we have for everyone today. So thank you guys for tuning in to the Camp Sports Jam. Thanks again, Dre, for coming on the show. Can't thank you enough. Best of luck in this upcoming season. Like Stevie just said, the Cleveland Browns, great opportunity. Going to have a great draft, so good luck, Dre. We'll be looking for you out there. Get healthy and go Cleveland, I guess. Go Cleveland, but go Dre. Yeah, sorry, just go Dre. Big shout out to our sponsors again: Good Samaritans Medical Transport, Junk Masters, and also Silver Spring Social Sports. Can't thank you guys enough for all the support you give us. Please like our YouTube channel and follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Twitter. Also, you can find us on Facebook, BCamp Sports Jam. So look us up on all these different social media pages that you can find us on. We're all there, and we love to interact with you guys as best we can. So let us know. Follow us. We greatly appreciate it. Well, for Steven Berkheimer, I'm Brad Cameron. Remind you, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Take care, Jammers.